Alright, developer log for March 2026, so this is the second month I've basically been able to work full time on the game, so I've done a lot of stuff. However, I'm gonna keep it kind of limited to what I'm gonna talk about this developer log, because otherwise it's just gonna take too long. So I'm immediately gonna jump into Blender and show the new character design. So I've made a new character out, I mean specifically the outfit. I've made a new outfit design for the main character. This was pretty much an accidental redesign because I actually didn't plan for this. What I needed was, I needed this thing. So this is the stasis suit. The stasis suit had previously already had a model that I made, but that model was so bad that I decided to make a new one. And while making it, I basically was like, this is probably the best outfit I've made so far. So I decided that, okay, I'm gonna spend a bit more time, add a bit more stuff to it, and that's just gonna be the new outfit of the main character. And this is a loading screen render, so I've also made a new loading screen render, which you probably see flash by very shortly. But yeah, this is now how the character looks. It's a pretty big upgrade over how she looked like. I can actually show that because I still have the old outfit in my outfits. So this was the old character model, which again I didn't plan to rework it, but after the biostasis suit came out so well, I just like, okay, I need to make this the main outfit. So big improvement in my opinion. Again, not planned, purely accidental, but I think it's great. So this does now mean that I have to redo all of the promotional artwork since she's no longer wearing the correct outfit in those. But yeah, that is fantastic. Next thing is the Warlock and the Handler. So Warlock and Handler, those are two enemies. Those also got their appearance updated. I actually talked about that last developer log. So the Warlock has lost his long black cloak, because I talked about that last developer log, that the Warlock had a tendency to just disappear in the background because of the full black suit, not suit, but the black cloak he was wearing. I already added last month these flame particles to his hands, which already helped a lot with visibility, but now he has a more whitish skin. He's now also basically not wearing anything. The blue accents, which is much brighter, way more visible, especially since this is one of the most dangerous enemies you will come across in the game. Having him be very visible is kind of important, and he has become, it's honestly amazing how much of a difference this has made, this visibility update, with fighting them. They were kind of annoying to fight because they were just hard to see. They were hard to hit. No longer. So yeah, big upgrade. Other big upgrade is the Handlebot. Talked about that last month as well. So Handlebot used to only have the updated head, I mean since last month. So last month I updated the head of the Handlerbot because I didn't want the Handlerbot to just be a recolor of the engineer. I'm gonna grab an engineer. That's what engineers look like. So yeah, last month this model was just this model with a blue body and this head. Now they pretty clashed because this head had a very different style to it than the body, of course. So I have remade the body, and it now is using a much more smooth, almost human-like model. And yeah, big upgrades. Also looks a bit more menacing in my opinion when you play against them. The previous one had this kind of like light cyan color, which looks a bit childish, I guess. The dark blue is now a lot more menacing. Menacing is a bit of a harsh word, but I think creepy is kind of like, sometimes you just only see their glowing eyes coming at you, especially since they are now a little bit darker. I did just talk about how important visibility is. They are a bit less visible, but with the glowing eyes, they're still plenty visible. Also, they're melee enemies, so the melee enemies can be a bit less visible than ranged enemies because, again, you have longer time to notice them before they start attacking you. So yeah, there is that. The tutorial has been reworked, so the old tutorial, so for the upcoming update for the demo, so there's a huge update coming for the demo next month. Did I not open the right one? Oh yeah, I'm in the sky. So yeah, the demo has been updated with all of the new art assets. Also, it now explains a bunch of things that it didn't before. So for example, picking up physics objects, that was not that's something I only added last month, I believe. It's a recent addition, so I did not yet have it in the tutorial. And another thing, for example, that I now have is the shields. A short explanation on how the shields work. So that is good. Outfits redistribution. So yeah, I'm also redistributing the way outfits work and also a little bit how other cosmetic things work. So cosmetic things used to be unlocked through specific like criteria where like you have to like finish a level, etc. in a certain difficulty. Now outfits can just be found on the ground like in some level. So they're basically just kind of like semi-hidden in the level. So this is what an outfit pickup looks like. A bunch of other cosmetic pickups as well. But yeah, the cosmetic pickups are now also like indicated with the rainbow colored pickup beam, which is new. So I've decided to make a few more outfits available for the demo that were already in the full game for a very long time. So I believe there will be 2 or 3 additional outfits compared to what is right now in the demo that you can find. One of them is only for brutality mode, so you have to play the game on brutality mode and pretty much finish it before you can even find it. I've also added little lore snippets. So you can learn more about like where the outfits come from. Again, I've been also rewriting the entire lore. I think okay, I don't have that in the file, but the entire lore I have basically rewritten again. So not only is everything for a large part rewritten, I've also added transcripts that introduce some of the characters. People are now new, and I've added a whole bunch of other stuff. So there is a lot more lore to find in the demo. The lore is also a lot better written. This is basically my 4th rewrite of the lore. And man, it's a big improvement over Lore Write 3, which was a huge improvement over Lore Write 4. Man, Lore 1 was so bad, it was honestly embarrassing. So yeah. Other than that, I've made a few changes to the main menu screen. So the main menu screen now has new audio tracks. So I've basically just ported a whole bunch of audio tracks from my electronic music, and they just play in a random order. So every time when the main menu launches, you will just get a random track. Right now you can't hear the track because I've turned music in the game off, so you should only right now be hearing like just some random background music I've added. But yeah, that's how that works. I'm actually going to talk about music a bit more later. Only thing I want to talk about is that, oh yeah, the main menu, you will also now get a random pose. So I've also updated all of the poses the main character makes in the main menu. So if I quickly go to main menu, the boot level. Okay, you very shortly heard some of the music. So yeah, I've massively improved all of the poses. So all of the poses were quite dry before, and now all of the poses are a lot better. So I think there are now, I've also added I think 2 additional ones. So let's see if we can get it. Yes, this one. So I've added the one with the Gatling gun, because the Gatling gun is basically the gun that's on the front, on the cover. So I really feel like the Gatling gun should be part of the main menu. So there is a chance you will get the pose with the Gatling gun. So yeah, there's that. So the final thing I want to talk about is the music. It's actually nothing I've prepared, but actually I think I can better just go to the... So you have at least something interesting to see, instead of a black void. Yeah, so what's up with the boot level is that the boot level basically opens up, it spawns the loading screen, and then it goes to the main menu. So right now in the game of the demo, if you load the demo up, you can basically see everything loading in, which I don't like. So there's that. So the final thing I want to talk about is pretty much the big thing as well, is that I've changed how the music works. So the way the music used to work in the game is that the game usually just loop an ambient track and then would switch to a combat track that would also endlessly loop. I decided that I actually don't really like that. I spent a lot of time audio engineering the game. So actually I think I've done a lot of audio engineering on the game, and it's kind of wasted if that audio engineering is completely overshadowed by a constantly looping music track. So I've decided to go with a half-life system where for a large period moments of time there is no music. I mean let's finish the sentence first. For most of the time there is no music playing, and then occasionally you will hit triggers where there is like a one-shot music playing where you just get to hear like an entire track that basically fits that current situation. Now, I have made one big improvement over Half-Life system, and anybody who has played Half-Life knows how annoying this is where you will trigger the music, and then you will like quick save and quick load, and then the music is gone, because the music wasn't get, or you would enter a level transition and then the music would just stop. So very often in Half-Life you would never hear the full track, because before that happens you would either load the game or hit a level trigger and then the music would just end. So I've made it so that the music hooks into the save game system. So if the music track is playing, you hit save and you reload, the music will continue on where it left off. So it won't be like Half-Life where if you save and load while a music track is playing, the music just stops, which again I always just hate it. I mean, I would basically have to do it like if I were playing Half-Life and I wanted to enjoy the music, I would just have to prevent myself from do not die, do not quick save, do not quick load, just let the music play. But yeah, because I've hooked it into the save system, that is not a problem in my game. You will always just hear the music even if you quick load and quick save, quick load, whatever. Another thing I want to do is that the music does play a bit more often. Like in Half-Life, music is very scarce. Like there are only really a few moments where music triggers. There are a few more music triggers. Like I'd say there are about like double the amount of music in my game compared to like how often music triggers in Half-Life or even Half-Life 2. And that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I know that this was visually not a very interesting developer log, but hopefully next month you get to play the updated demo, which is a huge improvement over what's currently on Steam. Like, don't play what's currently on Steam. Like, seriously, like, I even thought about taking it down. I mean, I decided not to do it because no one's playing like a demo anyway, but yeah. Wait for the next month update. It is... The game's 2-3 times better.